What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Beyond Canary Zone, and welcome back to this time the final news update show of the year. I lied. I said yesterday was the last one, but a lot of news came out, a lot of solid news from good sources, and I was not expecting that. I think nobody was expecting that, considering how the week did start, to be honest. But there are a lot of updates on Toni Kroos, yes, Charlie Patino, Calvin Phillips, Sudakov, KONE, and a potential new youngster from Gladbach. So we have a lot of things to go through. On match day, we play Roma. Preview is out. Go rewatch that after the game. Match stuff as usual. But we will go into the daily news show. Before we do that, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification, and let's go. And we start off with, believe it or not, Toni Kroos, because he's been linked to us. He has been linked with us the last couple of weeks. I never mentioned it because it came from a source, from a person who works for, or used to work for Rijsport, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a terrible source. However, journalists from Spain have picked up this news and put it also out there. Tuttosport has put also an article out there, and you might say Tuttosport, but Tuttosport was early on a lot of things before they got confirmed. The news is Juve would like to what the hell? I think that it made a typo. The news is Juve would like to replicate the successful modus operandi of Real Madrid in building a squad with a mix of emerging talents. Juve considers Toni Kroos, who will leave Real Madrid, as an option. Now, let's look at it, Toni Kroos. Let's look at it in the aspect of... So let's look at Toni Kroos in two aspects. One, is he a good player? Would you take Toni Kroos at the club? I think 80% of the fan base would take Toni Kroos, even at this stage of his career, into the club, because he would be your best midfielder by a country mile, and it would not even be close. So you would take Toni Kroos and add that experience in a midfield that has maybe experience but is extremely deprived on quality. Like, there's really no quality in that midfield, if we're being completely honest. The second aspect is financially, and that's where the news kind of with me. I struggle to believe it, because financially, the Decreto is gone. You don't have that tax benefits, and he is on massive wages. So to get Toni Kroos, you need to somehow put up a lot of the wages. Obviously, not the wages on Real Madrid. I've been told, or like from what I've read, it's close to 8-9 million euros net. He's obviously not going to get that unless he goes to the Saudi league. I think we would struggle even to pay him 8 million, 7 million euros, because again, the tax benefits are gone. All those things are gone. It will be tough financially. This reminds me of the Modric links a year or two ago, and everybody was like, yeah, take him, because he would add quality. And I want young players you can sell on. But if you can add one piece that has a lot of experience, like a ton of experience, and is still good enough to play in Serie A, I would consider it if it's for the right fee, if it's feasible for the club, if it's financially good, if it makes sense for the club, if it doesn't, hold us back, all those things, because we lack leadership, like real leadership in this team, combined with quality, real world-class quality, and especially in Serie A. So would I take Toni Kroos on that aspect? Yes, but only, like I said, if the things I said got matched. Financially we can do it. It doesn't mean we need to give up on other areas of the squad and all those things. Do I believe the news? I really struggle to believe it. I know there was another report out saying he believes in the project, and I watch Juve for, I don't know, every single day. I talk about it every single day on this channel. I still struggle to see what the real project of the club is. You believe youngsters, then you believe something else. There's so many question marks about the formation and the type of players we have. They don't fit the formation. So I'm not sure what the project is. let alone Tony Kroos knowing what the project is. That's what I think about it. But let me know in the comments, would you take Tony Kroos? Because a lot of people I've seen also are saying absolutely no. If you're one of those, let me know why, because I understand. If you say no, I fully understand why you're saying no, by the way. It's not that crazy. As it's not that crazy to say I will take Tony Kroos even at, I think he's 33 years of age. So that's the Tony Kroos news. And then basically the big topic of the day, but I think the other news that's coming up is even bigger. From Tutto Sport is on Charlie PATINO. He's a player playing, like, he is from Arsenal. He is an Arsenal player, but he's on loan at Swansea City. They got him, I think, 2 years ago into the club. A lot of buzz and hype around him. I've not watched him. Like, I don't watch Swansea play. You know, everything you hear and read about it is positive, is very good, and all those things. I think he has 4 goals or 2 goals and 3 assists in the championship this season. 18 games, 3 goals, 4 assists. He's an attacking midfielder, or can play attacking midfielder. Let's say he's a central midfielder, who's regarded highly. Now the news is that Giuntoli would like to secure Charlie Patino in January. Giuntoli would like to avoid paying the 20 million pounds by including KEAN, Moises of interest to Arsenal, with the attacking department covered considering the launch of Yildiz. Now, Nico Shiro came already out and said the thing on KEAN is not true. Like, he wants to stay and he doesn't want to leave. And Fabrizio Romano said, I have absolutely nothing on the Charlie Patino news. I think the link, and it could be a real link, whatever, but the link is because Giuntoli likes him and he tried to bring him to Napoli before he went to Arsenal. So maybe that's the thing. Maybe he talked to his agent, but he's also the agent of other players, who knows, and that link has been made. I'm not so sure. Like, I don't know. The KEAN thing, I think it's crazy. I do believe KEAN will be out of the door in the summer, unless Vlahovic is gone and Milik is gone, and all those things happen. But at this moment in time, I think KEAN's time at the club is running out because of the cost we paid for him, the wages he's on, and what's actually being coming out of it. You know, I think his time will end in the summer at the club. That's the feeling I have. But on this news, I think it's just an easy link being made. So keep an eye on it. However, I'm not really sold on the news story. Now, the day developed with solid updates. This is from Fabrizio Romano on Calvin Phillips. I think we all on this channel were like, oh, the news kind of died. It disappeared. So nothing is happening on this front. However, Romano came out and he said, Juve remains in talks with Man City over a loan deal for Calvin Phillips, as revealed 2 weeks ago. Negotiations are still on. Newcastle is also keen, but no formal approach with City yet. Then there was reports from many other sources said that he gave his green light to join Juve. He's very open to joining Juve, and the club is in talks with Man City to talk about the wages and the potential option at the end of the season. Other news sources are also saying that he would join Newcastle if he gets a starting position, which I find very strange, because I don't think he's getting a starting position at the club immediately with us. So on Calvin Phillips, I've said it many times, I have nothing against Calvin Phillips. I like him. His injury record last year is a big concern. Yes. If it's a loan with no obligation and that's the only deal you can do, fine. I don't think there's any harm into bringing him in like compared to bringing in Højbjerg with an obligation to buy. I think you're stuck with that player, and I don't think that's the quality we need moving forward, you know? So if it's a loan with an option, I get it. However, we're still missing obvious qualities in this squad, like attacking threat from that midfield, and that's not Calvin Phillips, and that's not Højbjerg, you know? If you want to have backup for Locatelli, Nicolosi can be the backup to Locatelli against Frosinone at home and all those teams. He can. Like, let's not kid ourselves. He can. Is Nicolosi the standard moving forward as a starter? Probably not. But when I talk for a player like McKennie, he's doing extremely well. But if we want to be a top club, I don't see McKennie starting at this club because he lacks the very basic thing you need for players playing in a top club. You know, he really lacks it. Squad player, fine, I get it. But starting players, we need that in this team, you know. In this team that's starting now, we still need 3 to 4 good quality starters to be back at the top. We really do. And I don't think Phillips is going to be that. I think we need a player with more attacking impulse. If you want cover for Locatelli, you can play Nicolucci in certain games. He will be just fine. I really believe that. But the Phillips thing is not that. And we thought, or like we all had kind of a feeling that it's over. He's not coming anymore. Like that deal is done, but it's still on. Let's move on because Romano had a lot of other things to say on Sudakov. I will read out the news first. He said, Juve and Napoli have both expressed interest in Sudakov, a top talent from Ukraine, and have approached Shakhtar Donetsk regarding a potential transfer. Napoli is considering Sudakov as a replacement for Elmas, while Juve has had him on their radar for quite some time. A substantial bid of 35 million euros has already been tabled for Sudakov. Now, I don't know who made that offer. I think that's the news out there that a club already made an offer of 35 million euros for him. De Laurentiis came out after they didn't beat Monza saying, it's all on me. We are going to sign players in January. That's one of them thereafter. I like Sudakov. I really do. And a lot of people do like Sudakov. He's very good on the ball. He sees things. He's very clean. I think his work rate is also pretty impressive. But just on the ball, he's quality. Am I going to sit here and say I've watched many games of Sudakov? No. I watched him in the Champions League. I watched him twice against Antwerp. And he was just very good. Like, he's very clean on the ball. He's a very good technique. He sees things. Like I said, I think he would raise the level of quality in the squad. And he will be a player, in my opinion, that will offer this midfield much more than what is offering now. Because he can carry a ball, he can pin a pass, he can play that final pass that we are absolutely, desperately missing. That you're not getting that from Rabiot, not from Locatelli, and absolutely not from McKennie. So he will be very welcome. Is it going to happen? I don't know. Do we have 35 million? Probably not. Maybe if you sell Junior and whatever. Napoli do have the money because they sold Elmas to Leipzig. So it's going to be a battle. But if you want to get Sudakov, you need to move now, because in the summer, let's say Ukraine does qualify for the Euros via the playoffs and he plays well. I mean, Premier League clubs will come in anyway. But if he plays well at the Euro, you're completely done. So it's now or never if you want Sudakov. So let's see how that will go for Giuntoli. And then another player. A player we have mentioned on this channel a lot of times during the summer, and that's KONE from Gladbach. He was very close to joining Liverpool, and then something happened, and I'm not sure what really did happen, and that deal didn't took place, basically. The news is from Gazzetta dello Sport, but it's been confirmed by Mirko Di Natale and others as well, saying considerations are being made for KONE from Borussia Mönchengladbach, a favorite of Giuntoli since his time at Napoli, while the valuation of Højbjerg remains stable and those of Calvin Phillips are decreasing. While Romano saying the Phillips one are not decreasing and Højbjerg one is kind of decreasing, basically. KONE, free transfer, or like it could be a very cheap option soon. He is a player that, depending on the price, I would take him, if that makes sense. I think he's a very good player. I think he offers a lot of physicality. He's pretty good on the ball, actually. He is pretty good on the ball. But that's one of those players, or one of those links, where I don't have a full, how do you want to say that? A full belief that, yeah, that's a player we're actually trying to sign. I don't feel that. I can be completely wrong, and he can be a player we go for, maybe like Zakaria next summer, 2 Januaries ago, basically. I just don't think KONE is a player that's really at the top of the list. You know, if that opportunity arises late in the transfer window, I think they will push for it and they will pull the trigger. But at this moment in time, I'm not so sure about how you want to call it, the actual belief in this news. But let's see, because he is being linked with us so many times now that obviously there's some truth into it. But it's going to be interesting on that one. And then we wrap it up with a player I never heard about. And that's from Fabrizio Romano, saying that Juve is starting talks about approaching Swiss talent Winsley Botelli. Gladbach are set to offer him a new contract as they want Botelli to be part of the project. I think he scored like 70 goals in 16 games or 16 goals in 17 games. From what you read, and I've not watched him, just what I'm read, he's not regarded as a top talent, just as a very good player who can get you goals. So I don't know much about him. We just need to keep an eye on that one as well and see how that goes. Maybe not like Adzik, but because Adzik is being tipped as a first teamer very soon, not Botelli from what I've read. So let's see. Just something to keep an eye on, I guess. But that's it. The final news update of the season of 23, and it's a big one. And hopefully we get back into January with some more solid news, and we get players in because we need help. Allegri needs help. That's it for me for the daily news updates. That's not for me for 2023 because I will be back later with a match reaction, player ratings, most definitely on Sunday, and then Monday pre-record. I know it's party time for everybody, days off, but I will have pre-recorded stuff out for the people who want to watch things. So thanks everybody for the support, and I'll see you guys post Roma, hopefully with some very good news.